Oh, sorry about that. I don't think you can really see the sunset. So, I flipped it around. But you can see my Christmas tree, my little Christmas tree. If you want, I can show you my ornaments because all of my ornaments are animals. I've been collecting ornaments for many, many years, and my tree is made up completely of animal ornaments. And they're adorable. So if you want to see, I can show you. But first, I wanted to say hi to everybody. Colleen Patrick-Goudreau here. You can find all of my work, my books, my podcast, my blog posts, my essays, what else? My videos at ColleenPatrickGoudreau.com, and you can even get your Joyful Vegan Starter Guide. Michiko's playing with a feather. It's probably going to stop now. This is what she does. As soon as I put the camera on her, she stops. Michiko, get your feather. Get it. There she gets it. There she gets it. She loves playing with feathers. These are humanely acquired feathers. She often runs around the house with a feather in her mouth. And she moans and she drops it right in front of you to play with her. So it's pretty cute. Cuteness, patooteness. And you might be able to see Charlie. Can you see Charlie? There he is. Okay. I think we should have the full shot of Christmas tree and Charlie in the background. And Michiko will probably come back. Okay. Hi, everybody. Again, Joyful Vegan Starter Guide. Join the mailing list at Colleen Patrick-Goudreau. This is hard. This is distracting. This is... Michi, where's your feather? This is too distracting. It's really too hard. She's scratching her scratching post right now. Okay, hold on. I'll answer your questions. I'm getting distracted by my cat. Michi, come here. What are you doing? Okay, she might be done for now. Okay, hi everybody. I know, it's so cute. Ugh, so cute. Oi. Okay, hi everybody. Okay, hello. Hi, Colleen, I want to see the ornaments. Okay, I will show you the ornaments, my animal ornaments. I love when you pop up. I'm at work late. Hi, Angela, you're so sweet. Daniel, did you hear about our new banknote in the UK? No. Oh God, is it like a hunter or something? What is it? What's your new banknote? No. What is it? Don't give me bad news. I can't take it. Hello, Mary. Hi, Sarah. I was just curious what your thoughts on PETA were. I have some mixed feelings. Thank you. Okay, got one question there. Lynn's in love with Michiko. Summer wants to know my favorite hair products. And Fernanda. Hello, lovely Fernanda. Glad you're here. Debbie wants to know about fake tree or real tree. Great questions. The banknote contains tallow? Is it part of the security aspect of it to like make it opaque and hard to replicate? Is that why? Oh, that's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. No, you guys are bringing me all bad news. I have not seen the Arby's commercial. The new 5-pound note is made with tallow, says Felice, confirming what Daniel said. Disgusting. Wow. Okay, you've got a lot of questions. Okay, let's start with the first ones I just named, and I'll just try to go through them pretty quickly. So, number one is, what do I think about PETA? I think PETA does really great work. I think I am conflicted as well because I don't agree with everything they do. But on balance, I would rather PETA be in the world than not. And that's, I think, really the bottom line. I think they do more good than not. I don't agree with all of their things. I don't agree with all of their campaigns. And they are reaching a particular audience, but I guess really that's what it comes down to is, you know, there's room for everybody and every kind of message. I'm certainly not going to be able to control how people and other activists and organizations go about doing this work. So really what it comes down to is, who do you support? And I'm just glad PETA's in the world. And it's, you know, I have contributed to them specifically around their undercover investigations. I think the work they do around undercover investigations is pretty great. And that's all I have to say about it. Yeah. next question. My favorite hair products, Aveda everything. I love Aveda. And I'm really sad. I'm really scared because my hairstylist is retiring, as it were. She might even be on here. So upset with Janine. She's going on and continuing to do other work that is really meaningful to her, even though all of us who get our hair cut and done by her are going to miss her greatly. But luckily we have made a new friend in her, so of course we'll hope to see her in that capacity. But I'm so scared. So I'm gonna have to be trying new hairstylists, one of whom I'm gonna call Janine's recommendation, but another one is up here in my neighborhood, and it's an Aveda salon. And I go in there all the time to get Aveda products, and that's how I started talking to the owner of the salon about cutting my hair, because it took me so long to find someone I absolutely adored, and now I have to go find someone else. So upset. But Aveda, I use Aveda for everything, for my conditioner, for my shampoo, for my hairspray, and I only use a little bit of hairspray. I mean, this is me with hairspray on. It's a really good hairspray, so it keeps everything in place, but it also it doesn't feel stiff. So I love it. There's different ones. I forgot what this one was. If you really want to know, you can email me. And I do use this final product my husband and I both use. It's called Color. I'm also blanking on that. It was Texture Twist at one point, and now it's something else. I never look at the bottle, and David orders it all the time. And I use that just for like final kind of like putting everything in place and calming everything down. But Aveda, I just think they're amazing. Amazda. Little joke there. Okay, what else? Fake tree or real tree? Yeah, Debbie, that's one of those things. It's do you want to support tree farms that are growing trees specifically to be cut down? I mean, that's what they're being grown for. But people could argue that's what animals are being grown for, and I don't support that. Or do you support trees that have plastic in them that, obviously probably never biodegrade? It's really hard, and I'm torn every year. We had a fake tree for like 20 years, and and we finally gave it away to someone else, and so I feel like at least it's kind of still in circulation. We didn't send it to a landfill. And right now, all we have is a little baby tree. It's just an artificial tree. It's not plastic the way they used to be, but I mean, ultimately they're fake. It's fake. And I also have some garlands. We have gotten both, and we've gotten the little tree over the years. Sometimes we've gotten a big tree. So yeah, I'm torn. And I think there's some really good articles out there that kind of weigh the pros and cons of both. And in the end, I'd probably opt for the real tree. As a rule, I mean, I'll have these trees for, 20 more years or more. But I do think in the end, the real trees are better. While the trees are alive, they are, capturing carbon dioxide, providing oxygen, and they can obviously be mulched. So in the end, that is a more, I think, ecologically friendly way to go about Christmas trees. So probably in the end, I would err on the side of real Christmas trees. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. What else do we have here? What else do we have? I got to scroll down. I got to scroll down because you've got so many questions. Oh, my Lord. Okay. Wow. I don't even know where this ends. Okay, back to the tallow. So upset you brought that up. I'm wondering my thoughts on buying lobsters to release them back into the wild. For instance, this is happening recently to a lobster in New Brunswick. Yeah, I think as a rule, it's really hard. I think as a rule, I would say I can't answer as a rule because you really have to take it on a case-by-case basis. There have been many stories, every year the Buddhists do this. It's something they do in different parts of Asia as part of a compassionate gesture. And it's not always the right thing to do because you might be releasing animals into a place that's not their native habitat, and they could really upset the animals who are native to that habitat. So as a rule, I can't say it's the best thing. I think the best thing we need to do in terms of what's going to be the most effective for animals is changing the way we think about them, changing the way we treat them, and changing that we use them. So we need to reduce people's consumption of lobsters, and that's why I'm in support of, well, veganism, first of all, and I'm in support of creating different vegan meats that are going to provide the texture and the familiarity and the taste and the mouthfeel for people who are stuck on those aspects. Of course, we've got this entire world of things called plants that we can eat, so we don't need to, but yet people are really attached to their certain textures and meats. So I think reduction and abstention is really the way to go in terms of helping animals. Vegan question says, Kay, vegan low carb seems limited to salads. Do carbs concern you on a vegan diet? Well, I would have to correct you and say, do you mean simple carbohydrates? Because of course there's nothing wrong with carbohydrates. We have to be really particular when we're talking about something like that, because, you know, there's been so many decades where carbs have been made out to be the bad guy. So if you're talking about simple carbohydrates, you know, those that are just highly processed, then yeah, you want to limit those just because they're a waste of calories. You're not getting a lot of bang for your nutritional buck. And that's what I'm always looking to do. Doesn't mean I don't eat, you know, simple carbs. I like my bread and I like pretzels. I just had a pretzel from the farmer's market the other day. However, in terms of carbohydrates, we do need carbohydrates. They're like, they're fuel for us. They're like, you know, we should be having 60 to 70%, in my opinion, of complex carbohydrates to fuel us. So, but we're talking about complex carbohydrates, and that's in the form of whole foods and whole fruits and whole vegetables rather than the simple carbohydrates. So that's my answer. And I'm not a proponent of one way of eating over another, other than not eating animal products. Whatever people want to do once they eliminate animal products from their diet, that's when you get into the diet. That's when you get into diet aspects. And I'm not really interested in specific diets. I'm more interested in really helping people thrive in the best way they can by getting rid of animal products from their all aspects of their life. Okay, yes, everyone's yucking on the tallow in the 5-pound note. That's ridiculous. Deb, the best source of iron. So one of the things I talk about in my podcast, and of course you can find this in the 30-Day Vegan Challenge, I have a whole chapter on iron, and I recommend you go listen to the podcast or get the 30-Day Vegan Challenge. One thing to keep in mind about all nutrients is that it's not just about what we take in, it's about how well we absorb nutrients. Iron is one of those nutrients, those single nutrients that we're obsessed over, and of course we should make sure we're getting iron from beans. They're a wonderful source of iron. But so are vegetables, as long as we are absorbing the iron. So one of the ways to increase absorption of iron, and sunflower seeds is another really great source, and greens are a really great source. So your greens, your leafy greens, your kale, your chard. One really good way to increase your absorption of the iron in these foods is to have vitamin C with that iron. So for instance, if you're making a salad with greens and with beans and with sunflower seeds, have your dressing have some citrus in it, or squeeze some lemon on there as well. Or add peppers or add tomatoes. So you're going to add vitamin C along with the iron, and you're going to increase your absorption. So that is my answer to your question. Iron and protein sources, same thing. We have a recommendation for a vegan conditioner. Yes, I heard on NPR today about the tallow and the money, slaughterhouse byproducts, anything to make a profit off of animal exploitation, misery and death. And yes, don't forget, the reason we have byproducts that are profitable is because we kill so many billions of land animals. So, whereas it's going to be really hard for you to avoid using the 5-pound note, that's not really going to be the answer for solving this problem. What is going to solve the problem of having so many byproducts used is having fewer animals killed. So if we want to have fewer byproducts, we have to have fewer animals killed, right? Does that make sense? So we're not going to be able to undo we could undo the tallow. We could always lobby for that. That could always be something that could change. And I don't doubt that it can and will. But in terms of where we want to spend most of our efforts, write your letter, see if you can, who to talk to about getting tallow out of there. But really what we want to do is focus on reducing the number of animals who are killed for human consumption, because that's why byproducts even exist. Christine says, I still can't find a decent replacement for cream for my coffee. Any non-dairy ones have so much junk in them. Any suggestions other than giving up altogether? Well, switch to tea. That's my first suggestion. This tea right here. Some tea right here. It's cold. It's cold now. So number one, switch to tea. Number two, obviously tea drinkers put cream in their tea as well. I don't, because I don't drink black tea. However, creamers, there are a lot of really good creamers out there. I'm going to also rely on some other people to make recommendations. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't know that many, and there are so many coming on the market. I do know people really love coconut creamer because it's really thick. I know people who love cashew creamer. And I would even say if you want to have the thickest, best creamer without a lot of junk in it, make your own cashew milk. Cashew milk is so thick and creamy, and you don't even need to soak your cashews because they already are really soft, so they don't have to be soaked to get soft. You can soak them for an hour if you want. However, just soak them in water, and then you can do a 1 cup of cashew nut ratio to 2 cups of water, 3 cups of water, 4 cups of water, however thick you want it. And then you can sweeten it however you like. You can do a little dash of salt in there if you want to put some vanilla in there to make it vanilla cashew milk. Those are some options that I would recommend to you, especially if you're concerned about whatever crap you're talking about, which I imagine would be just thickeners probably, and probably some kind of shelf stabilizer. That is what I have to say about that. I love Aveda's company and all that they stand for. Their only non-vegan product is the Pure Abundance line and some of their makeup. Yeah, I don't know the Pure Abundance line because I'm vegan. I don't know that one, Marlene. I know. They're amazing. I love Aveda. Tina asked my makeup. You're very sweet. That's very sweet of you. It's because I'm in the dark. Makeup, I pretty much I'm using right now a combination of Arbonne and Body Shop. Body Shop tends to be my eyeliner and my mascara and my blush. And I tend to use, I don't really use blush as much as I use more of a bronzer. That's kind of what I use. And they have like great little highlighter pen, like that kind of thing. Or concealers, whatever you call it. I only use I don't really use a lot of makeup. I do use Arbonne's. It just kind of creates a nice little foundation. When I say makeup, I mean foundation. And then I'm using 100% pure. I love their lipsticks. And I don't wear a lot of lipstick, as you probably noticed. I don't like color. I don't know. I feel I feel like it stands out. I'm so used to just not wearing a lot that I feel very self-conscious when I have a lipstick on. But I do like 100% pure lipstick, and I love their eyeshadows. So I wear, and it's kind of like glimmery. It's like a little glimmery, a little glittery. So I like that. So yeah, so 100% pure, Body Shop, and Arbonne are the makeup products that I use right now. And Mary likes Aveda as well. First used it 25 years ago, but since find it very hard to find. Yeah, it's actually not easy to order online, which is one of the reasons that I'm forced to leave my house to go to the store to get the products, because you have to go to an Aveda salon. They don't, unless you find a salon that sells online, and Aveda's not cheap. So to pay for shipping on top of it, it's kind of a pain. So I just take a walk up to my little stores and get my Aveda at a local salon. I use a Norfolk pine. Lynn, are you talking about Christmas trees? Marlene said, I didn't know that about their non-vegan products. I didn't either. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. And she keeps it potted and let it get bigger. Yeah, you can get pine trees that are potted, and then you don't have to buy them cut. Hubby says, I'm taking away a home for birds, but I don't like using plastic, which I'm typing on my very environment unfriendly laptop. I know, and it's hard, Debbie. We all do the best we can. I think I mentioned a while ago that I stopped buying plastic bottled water. Like, when I say I never buy it, I can safely say without exaggeration that I never buy plastic bottled water. In the developed country that we are in, or nations that many of us are in, we don't have a need for it. It's ridiculous. So get a reusable bottle, get some kind of Nalgene stainless steel, and I carry mine all over the place. And I'll be traveling, whenever I travel, I carry obviously my tea thermos and my stainless steel. However, I will say that we're going to Africa for 3 weeks, and I am not going to get sick. I do not want diarrhea, and I don't want to get nauseous, and I don't want to get sick. So I'm going to be drinking bottled water going to a third world country. It's a different story. It's one of those things where we do the best we can. So, obviously we have a choice when it comes to Christmas trees. And yeah, same thing. I get it. But I also made a decision. That's one of the reasons I started making my own beans and making my own milks, because I hate waste. And if I can try and reduce the amount of waste that I create, I'm going to. I'm not going to be perfect, but this week we put our cans out and we didn't even have to put our garbage out. So we compost, and we have a compost bin, obviously, that the city provides, but we also have our own compost bins. Thanks for your hearts, everybody. I'm sensing that someone agrees with me here. So we compost in our own bins as well as in the city's bin, and we have a lot of compost, obviously. And then between that and just the recycling, we didn't even have garbage to put out. So, so let's all do what we can. Sometimes I feel like when I do that one, when I say, no, I'm not going to get a plastic bottle, David, go just here, drink my water with me and share my water. Because David's like, really? I'm thirsty. We're in an airport and I'm thirsty. Sometimes you feel like, well, if I'm just this one little drop in a bucket, but if everybody said that we're just one little drop, then there never would be a bucket full of water. That's my analogy. Excuse me, Michiko. Michiko's being cute. She might jump up here. So anyway, and I would say, as far as the home for birds, I would say talk to and find out more and read some articles about some investigations that have been done. These are farms. They are not wild spaces. Most Christmas trees are not being sold from the forest. These are farms. These are Christmas tree farms. So is it, are there some birds taking up residence in them? It's probably pretty unlikely, because I'm sure that there's such a quick turnover that they're not really letting birds nest in these places. And I don't know, but ask them. That's a question for the growers. Okay, moving on. Twice in the past, I have bought a live tree and planted it right after the holidays. One is huge now, and the other is medium-sized in our yards. I love that. Mary, you're brilliant. You just gave me an idea as well, because one of the things, that's brilliant. I love that. Because we actually have to redo our hillside right here outside our front door, because a massive several 100-year-old oak tree was cut down by, I won't even go there. But I still see the big stump, the big, massive stump, and it kills me. But that hillside now needs to be replenished. We have a redwood tree right out front, not human babies. And I want to plant more redwoods in this front slope we have. So you've just given me an idea. I don't know if a redwood is the best, because you really need to buy them when they're a little bigger, but they are fast growers. So you've just given me an idea. Thank you. Love it. Everybody do what Mary did. It's brilliant. Okay, wait, more here. What's going on? Hold on. God, you guys have a lot of questions. Oh my God, this went way down. Okay. Whoa, guys, so many questions. All right, I don't think I can answer all of these. Okay, hi everybody. Hi, Colleen, says Emily. I told you about my daughter's presentation at my daughter's school, or my presentation at my daughter's school. Now they're offering vegan options to the main meals. This is a small school and in a rural area with lots of farmers and hunters. I feel like this is a great step for exposure for other kids and teachers. I know you'll continue that. And Erin, that's fantastic. I love it. Yes, try Califia. Their coffee creamer is amazeballs. I just said that. I did. Do you watch your calories being vegan? I don't care if I'm vegan or not, Kristen, or Kirsten. I watch my calories. And that's just because I'm not someone who can just eat anything I want and never gain weight. I hate those people. I hate all of you if you're out there right now. Hate you. I'm not that person. I am mindful of my calories. I'm just mindful of my intake, and I'm mindful of my output. So as many of you know, I run 5 miles a day, and I'm not like a skinny little Minsky. I mean, I like to eat and I like to drink, but I also make sure that I'm just mindful, and I kind of know what a 500 calorie or 600 calorie meal looks like. I don't eat out a ton. I mean, I do some. I mean, obviously we eat out. You see me at restaurants all the time, but I am mindful of it, and I'm glad for it, and it's definitely made a difference. Drink wine. Okay, can you recommend quality vegan belts, handbags, and shoes? Bobby says. Are you talking about for women? There are lots. I don't even feel like I could tell you the places to go. There are so many vegan stores with handbags. I mean, I love Matt and Nat. They make really great stuff. But I also get, I'm gonna be really honest, I get a lot of stuff just at kind of like local stores and find that they're not, that they're not leather. I mean, I make sure that they're not leather before I buy them. Vegan belts, there's a company called, the heck is it called? Vegan something. The heck is it called? David has some wallet from them and some belts. My friend Tim really likes, there's a UK shop. Will's is a place that people have been talking about a lot. There's obviously Mooshoes for shoes. So there's just a lot of places out there, and I just feel like there's ones popping up all the time that I couldn't even speak to all of them. What to respond to those who think that I should care more about people than animals? I care about both. I don't want to pick between a human baby and a baby goat. I recently read an article where people called Britain a sick society because they grieved the death of a dog. Yeah, that's very small-minded and very small thinking. I have I'm sure I've done podcast episodes on this, but I absolutely have a podcast video on this, a vegan point of view video on this. So I would go to my YouTube channel and find it, or you can just go onto my website at ColleenPatrick-Goudreau.com and find it. And the bottom line is we don't have to choose. I mean, that you don't have to choose. And we're very rarely in a scenario where we have to choose between a human baby and a baby goat. It's ridiculous. It's a hypothetical, and people want to be black and white and put us in a compartment and, just tell them you'll choose the baby goat. What's the big deal? Christine Moore tried the So Nice soy creamer. I love it. Lots of suggestions. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Given Mary some props. Califia, more recommendations for Califia. I'm trying to be vegan, says Stephanie, but others in my household are not, and it makes it so difficult to cook and ethically serve meat to them. Okay, well, Stephanie, I do have podcast episodes on this. I talk about this in the 30-Day Vegan Challenge, and I would recommend you get yourself a copy of the 30-Day Vegan Challenge. I think it'll give you some guidance in making the transition and just feeling really strong in it. There are chapters talking about living in a mixed household, and I talk about how to handle that. And I talk in different podcast episodes about keeping a vegan home and cooking for people who in your home are not vegan. And, ultimately it's going to be your decision. But my feeling is if you're the person who does the cooking in the house, and if that's been the agreement and you're the one who makes the food, then you make what you want to make, and everyone will have to just deal with it. I am sure there are things you have made in the past where you're like, I'm just going to throw this together. Everyone's going to have to deal with it. You don't take orders. Like, you're not a short order cook. You make what you make because you're the main cook. And if people in your family want meat so badly, then they can go out and get it themselves. And that's how I feel about it, because if that's the agreement, then that's what you do. And what if we are making meat for them and then making something separate for ourselves and whatever, then we're undermining that they eat vegan food, and we're undermining the great food that obviously that is the foundation of plants. So that's my short answer, but I would get yourself a copy. Go to Amazon, go to my website, whatever you want, and get yourself a copy of the 30-Day Vegan Challenge to see if that helps you. Bobby says, I love organic. More recommendations. Delphina, that's a good question. I actually don't know the exact ratio, but I would say you're, a lemon's worth of citrus, but don't just worry about the lemon juice. Pile on that salad, red peppers, tomatoes, put some orange slices in. That combined with whatever lemon juice or citrus juice you put in and the greens and the beans, you're going to increase the iron. The other thing about nutrients is not just to make sure you absorb what you're taking in, it's also to not lose what you're taking in. And so, for instance, there are things that you can do that could deplete the iron, and one of them is obviously cow's milk. Many of us have heard that already. But the other thing is tea and coffee. So the caffeine can deplete, or stop you from absorbing the iron. So don't drink tea or even iced tea while you're eating an iron-rich meal. You are welcome. You are welcome. You're welcome for sure. I know some friends who really love the cashew milk. I find it a little thick for me, but I'm not looking for a creamer. But for people who are looking for a creamer, it's great. You recommended a pink glowing cream once from Body Bath. It's not Bath and Body Works, Debbie. It's from Body Shop. But yes, and it's called the highlighter, and I love it. Just adds a little glow. Adds a little glow. I don't have any on right now. This is my natural glow. We bought water distillers from REI. I know, Debbie. I'm just so paranoid. We have some water tablets, like water purifying tablets we're bringing with us, but I just think we just don't want to take any chances. Do you want me to get sick? I won't be able to launch my new podcast when I get home if I get sick. Miss me on Periscope. Glad to catch you here. Thanks, Liv. Yeah, I really clearly got off of Periscope. I mean, maybe I'll jump on one of these days and just see if there's anybody there still, but I felt like I already had this beautiful audience here. And I even have now more than one iPhone because I've cracked so many that I can do simultaneous simulcasts. I just haven't yet. But my connection's wonky. I just want to make sure you guys are okay. So again, Colleen Patrick-Goudreau here. Go to ColleenPatrickGoudreau.com. Check out my books. If you're in transition, get the 30-Day Vegan Challenge. I'm having a really exciting meeting tomorrow with a publisher who may very well take on the 30-Day Vegan Challenge. And many of you know that it was published by Random House a few years ago, and that edition went out of print because of some silliness that I had to contend with. And so I brought it back with the help of many of you. But the real problem with self-publishing is that I can't get it into stores. And I really want this book to be in stores. So I've been in conversation with a publisher who's very interested in taking the book. And for it's a win-win situation because I'd just be handing over the files. I mean, they'll do some editing, but I'll hand over the files and they'll be able to, they have the distribution that I don't have. So I'm very excited about it. So someday you may see that there's another ISBN or another edition of the book. It's the same book. It's the same book if many of you have the new edition now, and I'll tell you more about it in the future, but I'm really excited about it. I feel so strongly about this book and the online program to help people transition. So you can get a copy of the book that I sign, and then you can on my website, and you can sign up along with the online program, so you can have the online program along with the book, and you get videos and audio messages and resources and recipes. And or you can just get the book. But I really encourage you to go do that if you're in transition. And we're almost out of the copies. So so get your copy now and keep your fingers crossed that this publisher wants to take the book, because right now, once my books are done, once I've sold them out, I can't afford to reprint right now. So it would just be the ebook and the online program. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we'll get the publisher to take it on. Oh my God, more questions. What else do we have? Let's see. Yes, Will's in London, faux show. And what should you feed your cat? Tazia, is that Tazia or Tazla? I have a video series on that. Well, not a series. I have a podcast episode. I have a YouTube video. So go to ColleenPatrick-Goudreau.com and you can search and you can just find it under videos. But my short answer is I feed my cats meat. How do you feel about leather that's already in your home when you become vegan? Hey, Teresa. So I've answered this question a lot too. One of the things, I mean, again, go check out the podcast, the Food for Thought podcast. There's so many questions like this that I answer in the podcast. In short, my feeling is if you have a leather couch right now and you become vegan, it's not about getting rid of everything you had that has an animal product in it until you realize you don't want to live with it anymore. So it's not about, there being a rule book where you have your guide and it says, okay, I'm now vegan. Okay, I've got to start, making sure I combine my beans with citrus. I've got to get rid of those leather shoes I had. I have to, right? We think that's what it's like because we're also getting pressure from the outside as well. And we're getting pressure from the inside, our own conscience. And yet it's unrealistic. It's very expensive if we decided to just completely undo everything that we've been doing for the last X many years. So my feeling is, if you have leather seats in your car and you have a leather couch and you have a leather belt and you have leather shoes, but you're doing everything else to not contribute to violence against animals. The question we have to ask ourselves when we're in a situation like that is, how am I helping the animals by getting rid of it? And how am I hurting them by holding on to them, these products? The answer you'll find the answer when you ask it. Switch them out. Not because I said so, because it's the vegan rule or some sassy vegan police person says it to you, but because you just don't feel comfortable wearing the skin of an animal or sitting on the skin of an animal. But the question we have to ask ourselves when we're in those situations is, how is getting rid of this, how is it going to help animals, and how is me not getting rid of them hurting animals? And I think we'll find that if we focus on the big things that we can make a difference about, we'll find that we can relax a little bit and find in our hearts the answer, which is just do it. You'll do it when you're ready. You'll do it, right? And when people come into your home and they said, I thought you were vegan, you've got a leather couch. You say, yeah, no, I'm doing the best I can. And I had that from before I was vegan. And, I am planning on selling it next year, or the car, or the lease is up next year. And I would never get another leather couch again, or I would never get another leather car with leather seats again. Does that make sense? And then more questions. I asked for it. Okay, this is going to take the last couple questions because I have to make some dinner. I have to feed my cats, and this is the night I go out for some whiskey with my friend. How do you feel about love? That's what I just answered. Poor Whole Foods, vegan, mushroom gravy, and everything. That's a great bit of advice. Sometimes I'll make a comment in a conversation about my intense love for animals and how I cringe every time I see them in sort of pain, even fish, and someone will quickly say, let me guess, you're vegan. How do I respond? Marlene, that's a really good question. And for me, the answer would be, I'm not, I don't care about those things because I'm vegan. I'm vegan because I care about those things. And that's the distinction we have to make. So when someone says that and rolls their eyes, let me guess, you're vegan. The answer is, no, I'm compassionate. And then, vegan is the way to manifest that compassion. But I'm saying these things because I'm compassionate, not because I'm vegan. I'm saying those things because I'm compassionate. And because I'm compassionate, I choose not to participate in them. Does that make sense? All right. Will's Vegan Shoes, another endorsement. Cultured meat, I am in favor of it. We can talk more about that, Mary, but I am in favor of it. And we can talk about more. Yeah, I'm in favor of cultured meat. And you know what, people have talked about this. I have a lot of friends who are in the organizations working on behalf of cultured meat and companies. And there's a lot of talk around the language. And of course, you all know that language is really important to me. And I hope you're all excited about Animology Podcast, because I'm about to do a Food for Thought podcast telling you all about Animology Podcast and telling you that Food for Thought isn't going away, but I need your support. I need your help, because this is consuming me, and it will continue to consume me for the rest of my life, because this topic is so big and so broad and so deep and so important. And I'm really excited to share it with the world, because I think it will broaden people's understanding of how connected we are with animals and why we have to then have a different relationship with them. So I'm very excited about it. But language is very important to me. And so there's a lot of conversation around what to call this meat, this cultured meat. And I like the phrase cultured meat. I really like it. Some people use the word clean meat, which I don't like. But my answer is I like humane meat, because this is the most humane way to source animal meat. And we forget to use the word humane meat in that context, because we have given it up and given it over to the people who kill animals while they're singing to them and call it humane. So humane meat is culturing meat in a laboratory that you're, from cells. And I think we need to talk about it as humane meat. So we'll talk more about that another time. Thank you, Debbie. I don't want to get sick as well. All right, I'm getting a little cross-eyed here. With my busy school and my work schedule, I have to pack my meals every day. Any suggestions for quick lunch recipes that do not need to be put in a fridge or heated up? And nut free. Valerie, those are like, maybe some people can make some suggestions for Valerie. That's a lot. That's a tall order. Hummus and wraps are wonderful. Vegetable wraps. Obviously, any sandwich. Just think of any sandwich you would normally make with animal products and use vegan meats as well instead. My better than tuna salad is my go-to tuna salad, which is fantastic, and there's no nuts in there. So maybe some people can make some other suggestions as well. The face cream, you're talking about the highlighter. It's called like highlighter from Body Shop, the Body Shop. Hope you get to try some South African peanut soup. I'm hoping to. Don't you feel bad about feeding your cat meat? So I answered this question, Tazla, in a video, and you might want to go listen to the video or watch the video because I explain it at length. The cats are obligate carnivores, and I feed them aquatic animals. I don't feed them land animals, for what it's worth, probably nothing. And I believe it would cause more harm to my cats than not if I didn't feed them meat. Do I feel bad? Yeah, it sucks. I hate it. I hate feeding them meat, but I also am taking care of these little beings, and they're my little pride and joy, and I'm not going to do anything to sabotage their health. And it's another example of why I support humane meat. In the context of cultured meat, by the way, every time we say humane meat, we have to kind of qualify we're talking about cultured meat. But I do think that's another argument for it, is that there's so much we can do from a technological perspective. And if people, are going to have a hard time eating cultured meat because it was grown in a lab, I don't think they'd have a hard time feeding their own cats cultured meat. So there's a lot of hope in terms of reducing the amount of animals killed for human consumption, first of all, by people stopping eating them, and number two, by supporting something like humane cultured meat. What kind of car do you drive? Are there any vegan ones? Oh my God, your questions. Okay. I drive a Prius, although I rarely drive. When our Prius finally dies, it's a 12-year-old Prius, and when it finally dies, we're amazingly, it's at 120,000 miles. The battery is still going strong because we just don't drive. My husband takes public transportation. He walks to the bus stop and takes the bus stop and takes the casual carpool. I work from home. I barely leave my house. I walk everywhere else I go. When my car dies, we're going to actually go car free, which just means that we're going to continue to walk everywhere. But when we need to go somewhere, we'll just take an Uber. That doesn't mean we're not in a car, but it just means I feel better about not owning one. There are more and more cars who are offering non-leather seats. I know Tesla is one. Prius obviously is one. We obviously don't have leather seats, and many, many others as well. So it's a matter of, I think, asking if that's what you mean by vegan. The new Tesla is supposed to have vegan seat out. Exactly. Sounds great news about the publisher. Yes, thank you, Mary. Thank you very much. Keep your fingers crossed. Very exciting, April. Hi, April. I'm so excited. You have no idea. And I'm going to show you the tree. Okay, Christina, you're probably like waiting the whole time to just see the tree. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up, and it looks like someone just said the BMW 13 as well. The lease isn't too bad. Vegan car. Awesome, Debbie. And wonderful. All right, everyone's giving suggestions. I love it. No worries. You don't have to autocorrect your autocorrect. You don't have to correct your autocorrect. So let's see what we have here in terms. It's a little dark. I don't know if you can be able to see it very well. But I have all these cute little, I forgot what they're called. Let me see, I have to let me turn the light up in here. It is a kitty. And you can see my other, Christmas decorations. I like Christmas. Christmas makes me happy. All right. Yeah, the little Christmas wreath there. You're welcome, Tazla. Okay. So we have a little penguin. We have a little owl. We have a little bird. We have a little squirrel. I have a lot of squirrels. I have a schnauzer. My first dog was a schnauzer. We have a peace dove. We have a rhino and another cat. And we have a butterfly here. Cat, bird, cow, lion. I'll go to the other side. It's just a little tree. Oh, little hedgehog. How cute is that? Another squirrel, because I love squirrels. And a little fox, little mouse, fox, mouse fox. It's a mouse fox. A little seahorse. Try to get all the animals in there. Let me see. I have to go around to go around. It's just a little tabletop. And then I have the two little cats. They were kind of too heavy to put on the tree. So there's my Charlie and Michiko. Yeah, they're like little pine cone. Exactly, they're like little pine cones. Little raccoon. There's a penguin. There's a, is that a chipmunk? Little chipmunk. Another bird. A skunk. Another cat. An elephant over there. There's a bird. There's a big hippo. And a bird. And a bird. And a bird. I have a lot of these little birds. And then I have a whale. This is my whale. And I love these. I got these years ago and I haven't been able to find them again. There is a mama cow with her baby cow. And there's a mama pig with her baby pig. Is that the cutest? And the baby pig is Fuzzy. It's a Fuzzy. And a ladybug. Jan says, I have two mini schnauzers, one of rescue and a Saint Bernard. I have little animals all over my house too. Never can have enough. Yes, my first dog was a schnauzer. I don't have a deer. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Look at that little mouse. There's a bear and a fox. Where is the deer? That is ridiculous, Bobby. I have to get a deer. I can't believe it. I'm sure I just was never able to find one. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, well, I'm going to have to get a deer. Charlie, you waiting for something? Yes, Charlie's waiting for dinner. You guys want to eat? You want to eat? Okay. All right. You want to eat? We're going to go eat. It's dinner time. Where are you going? Why are you going that way? You couldn't go that way? Really, Michiko? Just can go that way. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Time to eat. Dinner time. All right. Thanks, Angela. I do need some deer. Thanks, everybody. I will talk to you another time. Have a wonderful night, and thanks.